The story begins in classroom 3-2 where the students were too noisy talking about the awakening assessment that will be held for tomorrow. Our story protagonist, Cheng Qianmo, woke up and found himself in this room, seeing a lot of students gossiping inside. Since the class hadn't started yet, everyone was just talking and some were laughing so loud. Qianmo slowly opened his eyes and suddenly got his body up with a shocked face as he was unsure of where he was right now. He held his head as he felt some pain. This planet is called Blue Star, and on the surface, it is not much different from Earth. But a cataclysmic event 100 years ago completely changed it. Millions of monsters attacked, causing countless human casualties. As long as they pass the awakening trial and change their profession, they can stand against the attacks of the monsters. So the whole world is working hard to cultivate awakened individuals. They also become the elite of this world. At present, Qianmo is confused and realizes that this setting is quite similar to the world in the game he played before, and that is Genesis. He was staring at his hand while thinking that he crossed over to a world where the game he once played had merged into reality. Back then, he defeated all players and was just a step away from being the top player of all time. Just because of skill cooldown and damage limits, he couldn't handle the constant summoning of minions by the final boss. That time, he was already full of bruises and was breathing deeply, and unfortunately, he was surrounded by the minions, causing him to die. As he recalled what happened, he felt annoyed and punched the table. He cannot accept the fact that he couldn't able to reach the summit as a god despite that it's only one step ahead. While he was cursing himself while punching the table, someone suddenly hit his back, causing him to be startled. "Yo, do you have time to daydream?" the fat man asked, and seeing him, Qianmo instantly knew him by the name Lai Hong since they had been friends for so long. "Man, didn't expect you to cross over too," Qianmo said with excitement while holding Hong's shoulders. But then, Hong was confused and annoyed while stating that Qianmo was still in the mood for fun and games at a time like this. Even the smart kids are in hot waters. If even they are anxious, what am I supposed to do? Hong uttered. He was panicking because of the awakening assessment as he was afraid that he might fail. Qianmo was staring at him with a slight smile on his face, and he realized that Hong didn't cross over like him. He was glad to see Hong's appearance and personality from his previous life were almost identical to this present life. For him, the interpersonal relationship and living environment in these two worlds are not much different. Hong grabbed Qianmo's shoulder while crying and let Qianmo know that he was nervous since the awakening talent assessment was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and if he couldn't pass this assessment, he was afraid that his father would scold him to death. Back in the game Genesis, players could only trigger talent awakening by successfully touching the awakening stone in the novice realm. "Brahm, I'm facing a life or death crisis tomorrow. Can't you lend a helping hand?" Hong whispered. "Well, you need to make it clear how I can help," Qianmo answered. Hong laughs while scratching his head and claims that his demands aren't high. He just needs to awaken his talent smoothly, and that would be enough to satisfy his father. He said that in this class, it was Qianmo who was always in the top 3 in class and had full ideas, so he was asking Qianmo to help him at the last minute of the awakening talent assessment. Qianmo was hesitant. He was thinking things as he believed that games are different from reality. Even if his gaming experience and skills are intact, he is not sure how much this world is connected to Genesis. For him to make sure, he decided to check it out himself. Since he was thinking for 2 minutes, Hong disturbed him by asking if he already figured out a solution. Qianmo tapped Hong's back and told him not to worry as he would go to the secret realm right now and think about a solution. He then walked away while Hong was wishing him the best. He promised that he would treat Qianmo for free meals for a year once Qianmo successfully found a solution to help him. After a few minutes, Qianmo arrived at the training Audi. He saw several students inside and some were talking about how to deal with the mobs. He stared up above as he saw the teleportation point. He slightly smiled and finally entered without any hesitations. While entering, he could only see a silhouette, and he was looking forward to seeing what the world looks like when the game and reality are fused. Qianmo continuously walked at the entrance despite that he didn't see anything but only a dazzling light. He covered one of his eyes using his hand and was surprised when he slowly saw something. After he successfully entered, he was mesmerized to see the familiar view in front of him, knowing that this place was the Genesis game's newbie village. He was so impressed as it was a perfect replica of the game Genesis. In just a few seconds of standing in the village, the system appeared which startled him. It says that the system detected the host and the binding transformation system is instantly in progress. Qianmo's sweat dropped from his forehead while waiting for what would happen to him after the binding transformation was done. The system then notified that the binding was successful and is now at level 1. It can transform two active skills that meet the conditions into a new passive skill. The power of the passive skill is influenced by the character's attributes. Qianmo was amazed to discover that it can actually transform active skills into passive ones. He believes that the system is too powerful if it's really identical to the game Genesis. In Genesis, 99% are active skills, and they have cooldown limits. It's impossible to trigger infinitely. It's easy to reveal vulnerabilities and be counterattacked in battle. But passive skills are permanently active without cooldown restrictions, only triggering under certain conditions. As the level increases, the triggering probability will also infinitely rise. That's why it's so rare. Qianmo clenched his fist while stating that it wasn't possible to become a god in his previous life because of skill cooldown restrictions. But this time, with the transformation system, maybe it can help him make up for regrets. At this time, the system asked him to select the skill he wanted to transform. For the first skill, he chose the wave slash technique, and after acquiring the skill, a sword suddenly appeared in his hand. As per the system, wave slash is still at level 1 and this skill can strike enemies in front with a powerful upward slash, releasing a wave that deals multi-hit damage to enemies within 3 meters. After a minute, the system notified that the passive transformation was successful. The passive wave slash has a 30% chance to release wave slash when attacking. After triggering, Wave Slash transforms into a sword energy attack with damage receiving a 1.5 times bonus from strength attributes, and the user becomes invincible for 0.2 seconds. Qianmo tried slashing the sword and confirmed that it actually improved the attack method and added additional damage values. Qianmo heard a monster movement behind him. It's a level 3 Minotaur and Qianmo was challenged as he knew that this monster is one of the more challenging monsters in the training ground. The Minotaur dashed towards him with killing intent using his cleaver knife as a weapon. Qianmo moved backward a little bit but he was calm since it was a perfect timing for him and a good opportunity for some real combat practice. He tightly held his sword and swung it with great force causing the Minotaur to fly away, and slammed on the rock. An explosion happened to the part where the Minotaur slammed and Qian was staring at it, waiting to see if the Minotaur was still alive. Surprisingly, the Minotaur gets up and goes berserk. It gained no scratch at all but Qianmo already expected it. The Minotaur dashed back to Qianmo and jumped above to slash him. He attacked Qianmo multiple times and Qianmo blocked the Minotaur's attack using his sword. He believes that with the Minotaur's strength and level, he cannot be able to beat it since he is only at level 1. He rattled the moment he saw the cleaver of the Minotaur who was about to hit him. He immediately raised his sword and blocked it once again. He grits his teeth and he is sweating. Unfortunately, his sword broke but the system notified that his wave slash passive was triggered. His invincible for 0.2 seconds is activated. Qianmo was confused for a second after knowing that blocking could trigger the passive effect. The system notified once again that forcing the release of Wave Slash has a 1.5 times damage bonus. A purple flame covered his body the moment his passive was activated. At the same time, he received a new skill which is the Empowered Wave Slash. He immediately used it on the Minotaur and the Minotaur let go of the cleaver and flew away again. Its teeth and nose ring got damaged, and Qianmo this time knew that with his last attack, the Minotaur would finally be defeated by him. The Minotaur strongly slammed to the ground and Qianmo stared at its dead body while holding his broken sword. After defeating it, it slowly disappeared. Qianmo was so glad knowing that after transforming into a passive skill, it not only solved the cooldown issue but also developed a new damage system. For him, this completely solves the problem of failing to reach the summit in his previous life. He stood while clenching his fist and stated that he was now sure to make up for the regret of the past in this life and ascend to godhood for literally real. At this point, Qianmo senses something dangerous behind him. As he turned around, he saw a huge insect behind him but he immediately struck it using his broken sword. After killing one, numerous came to attack him but he ended up killing all of them in an instant and only gained small scratches. In the novice realm, he trained for several hours, finally gaining a familiarity with the combat experiences of his previous life. As long as he knew which realm the assessment was for tomorrow, he was confident that helping Lai Hong awaken his talent would not be a difficult task for him. While he was staring at his sword, he received a notification from the system, asking him to select the second transformed passive skill. Qianmo stares at his options while thinking that beginners in the early stages are usually killed by monsters because their attack power is insufficient, and their skill cooldown time is too long. Since the first skill selected is for attack power, the second skill should be chosen for cooldown, so he chose weapon switch. As per the system, after activating the skill, within 30 seconds, the cooldown time for switching weapons is reduced by 30%. Qianmo's passive transformation of his weapon switch was successful after a few seconds, and the system informs him that the cooldown time for switching all weapons is permanently reduced by 30%. He was checking his inventory and found that there were quite a few basic novice weapons in the backpack plus the passive weapon switch, enabling quick switching of different weapons during combat. He also checked his status window and saw his information. He belongs to the Inzu race and is currently at level 1. His strength is 20 points, which affects physical power, the same as his agility, 20 points, affects critical strike rate, evasion, and attack speed. His spirit is also 20 points, which affects mana regeneration and magical power. Lastly, his constitution is also 20 points, which affects healing and endurance. Now, he has a total of 2 passive skills, wave/level 1 and level 1 weapon switch. In addition, his combat power evaluation is a total of 500 points. Qianmo was glad that the core issue of the weapon switch cooldown was now resolved, making the early stage battles like having built-in cheat code. Now, everything is ready, so he comes out from the village and waits for tomorrow for the awakening talent assessment. The next day, all the students are inside the training Audi, waiting for the assessment to begin. The students were all excited and nervous. They were holding each weapon and some were prepared for having a lot of healing potions. At the same time, Qianmo was just standing without doing or boasting anything. While waiting, he called Hong, calling him from behind. Hong was holding a piece of paper while saying that he was now ready to heed Qianmo's order. He had his father use the power of money to get the map for today's assessment. I advise you to speak softly, lest others know that your dad used a backdoor. Qianmo answered while pulling the mao from Hong. Hong chuckled and agreed to him as he realized to keep himself low-key. When Qianmo opened the map, he saw that the realm chosen was the Flame Fisher. As per Hong, it was chosen by Professor Liu. While staring at the map, Qianmo recalls that the Flame Fisher is the novice map. If he remembers correctly, most monster levels here are distributed around 3-10, so it's not too difficult for him. He then asked Hong what highest level elite monster he could solo in the novice realm. Even if I go all out, maybe level 5. Hong casually answered. Qianmo was so disappointed since he didn't expect Lai Hong's strength to be this lacking. Looks like we can only rely on a backdoor for you, he said without knowing that someone overheard their conversation and suddenly said that Hong wanted to use his family's money to take a shortcut. It was Mao Feng, the rich second generation in the class next door. Why not just give up the assessment, so you don't end up at the bottom, embarrassing your unlucky father, he added. He walked toward Hong together with his 2 minions behind. Because of what he said, Hong felt insulted and angrily asked him to dare repeat what he said. He was so mad, and luckily Qianmo was with him and asked him to cool down himself. Don't stop me. I'm going to settle things with him today, even if it costs my life, Hong answered while pointing his finger at Feng. Still, Qianmo stopped him from attacking Feng while Feng was teasing him by saying that Cheng Qianmo was more sensible than him. He knows you are a loser, thus stopping you from taking action, he added, which made Hong tremble in anger. This time, Qianmo kicked him in an instant as he didn't like Feng's words. Feng fell to the ground and Qianmo told him that there was no need to apologize so formally. Cheng Qianmo, are you tired of living? Feng angrily asked. He stood with a clenched fist and tried to punch Qianmo, but Qianmo easily caught his fist. Feng was confused about how Qianmo made it while Qianmo was thinking of something. Hey, you there? Dare to make a bet with me? Let's bet. Lai Hong's assessment results later will definitely be better than yours, he said. Feng and his minions were shaking in anger knowing that an average man dared to bet with him. They all suddenly laughed so loud while asking themselves if they heard correctly what Qianmo said. A bet of certain victory I have no reason not to accept. But I'll set the stakes, Feng answered. He explains that the loser has to run 10 laps around the playground naked and shout the other person's father's name 3 times. In an instant, Qianmo accepted the deal while Hong beside him felt nervous since he was not confident that he would have a higher score than Feng. The students around were murmuring about the competition between Feng and Hong, and some said that the difference between the two is not a small one, so they were sure that Feng would be the victor. Hong was nervous while asking Qianmo to withdraw the deal, but Qianmo only told him, believe in your brother. Hong suddenly sat down while holding his head and stated that he just wanted to pass the assessment, bragged to his father, and asked for some pocket money so he couldn't accept Qianmo making a deal out of him. Qianmo pulled him to stand and listened to him carefully. He whispered to Hong about his plans and Hong's mood instantly changes, which makes Qianmo glad. With his plan, Hong suddenly screams with excitement as he becomes confident to win against Feng. "Today, I'll make Mao Feng run," while shouting "Dad," he screamed. At this time, the person who handled this assessment called all of their attention. He was Zhang Lei, grade director of Zhongcheng College, and is a second-tier awakened. He then declared in front of everyone that the assessment would officially begin. He instructed all the students to enter the teleportation point one by one, and as they entered, Hong was very confident while boasting to Qianmo about his performance. After him, Qianmo entered the teleportation and teleported into the Flame Fisher realm. This dungeon is a massive volcano with scorching lava everywhere. The main monsters are evil orcs and demons. After climbing the rugged mountains, the summit is the final boss of this dungeon, Zhaolin. There's a strange sense of familiarity. "It's been a long time since I played a beginner's dungeon," Qianmo uttered with a smile on his face. In an instant, he senses a strange feeling behind him. As he turned his head around, he saw the Flame Blade Devotee level 2, ugly green-skinned beasts, who were low-level monsters. Both monsters dashed towards Qianmo with clenched fists, and below their fists, there were sharp weapons. Qianmo was almost slashed by this weapon, but good thing that he was able to jump back in an instant. He was kneeling on the ground while staring at the monsters walking toward him. He was sweating the moment he sensed that another bunch of Flame Blade Devotees appeared. At this moment, he was already surrounded by these monsters, and he recalled some information from his past life that computer games were operated with a keyboard and mouse, but now it's really about relying on one's own instinctive body movements. At the same time, he grabbed a novice sword from his inventory, and this item is one of the basic equipment items for beginners. While staring at the monsters, he can feel that these monsters are indeed different from the weakened monsters in the training ground. He believes that dealing with 5 at once is a bit challenging for him. At this time, the system detected that Qianmo has a massive amount of operational experience, now all converted into instinctive body movement. Qianmo was surprised upon seeing it, as he never expected that operational experience to be converted into a passive skill too. As per the system, the operational experience conversion into instinctive body movements is now completed, and Qianmo after it feels his body completely different. While was so surprised, the monsters were jumping towards him, but Qianmo this time was very eager to win against all these monsters. He jumps and sticks on the wall while holding the sword, and his eyes are sparkling like lightning. He was staring at the ground and went back below, then kicked one of the monsters in the face. The monster he kicked flew away while screaming in pain and passed by to the other monsters. Qianmo smiled as he now confirmed how terrifying the transformation ability was. He can even control every muscle in his body. Now, his instinctive body movements are just like operating games in his previous life. Now satisfied, "Then come at me together," he screamed, and all the monsters were triggered to hear him very confidently. They all listened to Qianmo's demand and attacked Qianmo using their sharp weapons. Qianmo flipped to avoid being hit, and as he was about to land, he decided to lure all the monsters into a straight line and take them down in one go. He then ran as fast as he could to avoid being caught, and while running, he attacked the monsters one by one to make them all glance at him. He stops and stares at the monsters, who are now perfectly in one line, staring at him with anger. This time, he believes that this is a good opportunity for him to eliminate all these monsters, so he attacks them all using his slide tackle technique. All novices start with the active skill slide tackle, that's why Qianmo has it. He held onto the ground and tightly held his dagger using his one hand. He then swung his dagger using his wave slash skill, which made all the monsters fly away, and triggered his passive. He was so thrilled as he couldn't believe to see his passive triggered so quickly. He then activated his passive wave slash and discovered that a passive skill could cancel the attack recovery. He slides to the monsters and attacks them all using his passive wave slash, and in an instant, all of the Flame Blade Devotees were eliminated. As per the system, due to special actions, this time experience of Qianmo increased by 50%, gaining 50 experience points times 5. He also leveled up to level 2, gaining 4 free attribute points, and at the same time, leveled up to level 3, gaining another 4 free attribute points. You can actually gain extra experience by special killing monsters. 5 monsters can level you up twice in a row, Qianmo uttered. After killing the Flame Blade Devotees, he jumped away from the area where he was standing while thinking that this real awakening was much more interesting with so many basic skills and weapons in hand than the virtual game Genesis from his previous life. Inside the training Audi, it is seen on the leaderboard the ranking of the students doing the awakening assessment. Most of the crowd was surprised to see a name rapidly rising on the leaderboard. And as expected, it was Cheng Qianmo who was now in the first place and the only one who ranked up easily. What makes the crowd more shocked is to confirm that it was the person confronting Feng a while ago who now leveled up twice in less than 5 minutes in the secret realm, and now the rank first. Because of this, some said that they finally had a hidden genius in their school. At this time, Zhang Lei was thinking if Cheng Qianmo was really the person who dared to bet with Feng. He crossed his arms and he was looking forward to seeing more surprises from Qianmo. Going back to Qianmo's point of view, he was jumping around the realm, looking for some monster to beat and level up himself more. He then saw something familiar to him, so went down to the ground and took a peek. Upon checking, he confirmed that it was Shadow Mage's level 2 apprenticeship secret realm monsters. Qianmo recalls Apocalypse had a special bug related to these monsters. If he can take advantage of this bug, he believes that he won't have to slowly fight them one by one to level up. Instead, he can strike it big. But for him, that's easier said than done. If he can pull this off, he concludes that leveling up will be a breeze for him. At this time, he summoned his grappling hook gun, one of the basic equipment a novice brings. He used this weapon to strike the wall above and silently went down a little since he was only behind the Shadow Mages. The moment he lands below, he gets his small flying darts, a weapon that is also one of the basic equipment a novice brings. He attacked the Shadow Mages using this weapon from behind and they were hit one by one. They were so mad and turned their heads around. Because of their anger, they have entered the combat state. Qianmo was just calm while staring at them, and at the same time, the Shadow Mages activated their magic power, the Shadow Arrow, and aimed at the direction of where Qianmo was standing. Qianmo immediately hid in the huge rock while recalling that as low-level monsters, the Shadow Mages only have 2 types of magic in total, and that are the Shadow Arrows and Summon Hounds. Since the Shadow Mages weren't able to see Qianmo, their Shadow Arrows slowly dissipated and they returned back to their default state. As for Qianmo, the effect of breaking the Shadow Mage's field of view is perfect. From this area where he was standing, he believed that the Shadow Mages wouldn't be able to attack him. It turns out that this kind of completion bar magic like Shadow Arrows cannot attack targets outside their field of view. He was glad that his first step was successful. Now, his second step is taking advantage of the time when the Shadow Mages are casting their magic. He attacked first the Hellhounds of the Shadow Mages using his flying darts, and all the hounds that the Shadow Mages summoned were instantly killed while the mages were casting their Shadow Arrows once again. Qianmo was panting and wiping his sweat while preparing himself to do the third step, which is the interesting part for him. The skill of Hound summoning skill's priority is greater than that of the Shadow Arrows, and so the Shadow Mages can only summon their dogs. At this point, the Shadow Mages started summoning another group of hounds, and seeing numerous hounds summoned made Qianmo excited and glad that his third step was successful. Because the Shadow Mages have no way to successfully lock onto a target to attack, and they had to suddenly switch from the Shadow Arrow skill to the Summon Hounds skill. The logic messed up, and so the Shadow Mages will start continuously summoning hounds. Even if their magic is all used up, Qianmo believes that they will wait until they have enough mana to continuously repeat this skill. Qianmo was confident that these bugs could lead to an enormous number of hounds being summoned. And at the very end, as long as he killed the Shadow Mages, the hounds would die along with the Shadow Mages. If he foe it like this, he deduces that he can gain a large amount of experience from a few hundred hounds. He lay down on the rock with a wide smile on his face, knowing that he could now take a nap while waiting for the hounds to accumulate. 8 hours later, the crowd was too silent while waiting for another surprise on the leaderboard. At this time, the one who's in the first place is the student named Sun Qi, the second is Lu Jingjing, and the third is Lai Fenghui. Qianmo wasn't at the leaderboard while his friend Hong was currently at rank 498. All of a sudden, the students became noisy once again after seeing something interesting on the huge screen. The current second placer Lu Jingjing was actually the first one to switch her profession to firearm master. Just now, she was second, but in a flash, she actually turned it around and became the first to level 10. After that, Sun Qi also becomes a swordsman, and the crowd concludes that he'll be able to beat the big boss Zalan and get his hands on the Awakening Stone. This time, the top 10 have been monopolized by the rocket class. Zhang Lei was focused on watching the students' abilities and saw more and more outstanding students gradually beginning to emerge. But then, he was waiting for Cheng Qianmo and wondered what rank Qianmo was right now. After checking the rankings, he found out that Cheng Qianmo was currently at the rank 659, and he could not believe that Qianmo was in the last place. He was so disappointed since he was expecting that Qianmo really had an unbelievable ability. It turns out that Cheng Qianmo was just a blind cat who ran into a mouse. The first place got stolen back. the man from the crowd said, and the people who heard his statement laughed so loud. There was also a lady beside him who also belittled Qianmo. That's what I was about to say. How could there be a real genius who's already in the 3rd grade who hasn't already been noticed? She said. As per Zhang Lei, the secret realm will only be open for 12 hours, and given Qianmo's current leveling speed, he's afraid that Qianmo won't be able to reach level 6, much less defeating the final boss Zalan and awakening a talent. There were 4 hours left until the examination ended, so he was hopeless that Qianmo would still be able to reach the top 10. After a few minutes, Cheng Qianmo's rank suddenly moved so fast. Upon seeing it, Zhang Lei was so surprised, and when Qianmo reached rank 121, Zhang Lei wondered how Qianmo was able to make it happen instantly. Going back in time to 1 minute ago, Qianmo woke up after a long hour's nap. He was stretching his body while yawning and stated that he finally had such a refreshing nap. He immediately turned his head around to the shadow mages and hounds and was shocked to see more than 100 hounds. He was only expecting 100 hounds, but this scene of hounds is around 400 hounds. He then gets his Gatling gun, also basic equipment for a novice brings. He pointed it to the shadow mages and smiled while thinking about how many levels these hundreds of hounds could give him. He then activates his current weapon and attacks the shadow mages. While aiming them, Qianmo was smiling widely and enjoying the scene. The shadow mages' health was draining and they didn't have a chance to fight back. After a few seconds of attacking the shadow mages, they finally died and disappeared together with the hounds. After killing all of those monsters, Qianmo received numerous notifications, leveled up, and gained many stat points. Now leveling up like this is satisfying. Killing them one by one is really too tiring, he uttered. After leveling up, his passive Wave Slash has also leveled up to level 2 when attacking. He has a 35% chance of releasing Slash. Once triggered, Ripple Slash will manifest into Sword Kai to attack the enemy, and he will receive Strength attribute as well, and will be invincible for 3 seconds. At the same time, his passive weapon switching also leveled up to 2, and all weapons switching times cooldown time will permanently decrease by 40%. Qianmo discovered that along with his own level up, his passive skills can also level up. For him, the passive skills growth potential is pretty strong. And once he gets to the higher levels, he wonders if a passive that is always 100% guaranteed to be triggered will appear. At the training Audi, the leaderboard shows that Qianmo is already the 1st rank and is now level 13, while the 2nd rank is Sun Qi with level 10. The crowd messed up because of what happened, as they couldn't believe that Cheng Qianmo became the 1st place from the last place. For them, they can see that Qianmo is a monster in awakening, and compared to the whole country, being level 13 can put them in the top 3. I'm already this old, but I've never heard of such a crazy matter. Just who is this Cheng Qianmo? The man uttered while holding his head. With this commotion, Cheng Qianmo's homeroom teacher, Zhao Erlong, suddenly appeared and proudly claimed that Qianmo was his student. He was so proud and said that Cheng Qianmo was an awesome student. At the same time, Zhang Lei also appeared behind him, which makes him startled and asked him what's the matter. Just what are you doing on a daily basis? How blind are you? We have such an extraordinary youngster and you didn't even report it, Zhang Lei angrily stated. And Erlong admitted his mistake as Qianmo's homeroom teacher and apologized to the school director Zhang Lei. Zhang Lei himself also admitted that he was getting old and made such an oversight. For him, Cheng Qianmo's talent can be said to be Zhongcheng College's greatest talent since its establishment. Going back to Cheng Qianmo at the realm, while hopping around, the system congratulated him for reaching level 13, and the system also informed him that he could now be able to choose a profession. He landed on the ground to choose. He opened the profession selection and recalled some information about his past life. In the past, he stood at the peak of the apocalypse and obtained all the god-level titles for each class. However, there's only one oath that he hasn't walked yet, and that's a vagrant, a special class that doesn't undergo a professional change. A vagrant can use any equipment and won't be impacted by a class restriction. This way, the combination of various attributes of the equipment can be used to its fullest extent, to the point that its usage is nearly limitless. And at the same time, according to the current battle situation, a combination of equipment with perfect attributes can be easily equipped. But its shortcomings are also very apparent. Its lethality isn't enough. The skills are plenty, but because they're basically professional, they're all primary skills. They can speed through the early stages, but in the later stages, they're bound to be thoroughly dominated. And there's also no way to make up for this deficiency just with skills. But right now, he has the powerful passive system. The vagrant class fatal flaw has been resolved. He was confident that it could completely bring this class power to its peak. As per the system, since Qianmo never assigned his stat points, automatically binds the Vagrant's soul hidden class Spellbinder. In just a few seconds, the binding was completed, but Qianmo was confused about this hidden class Spellbinder. He was surrounded by an azure flame, but he was puzzled at this point. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you wish to have another part of this recap, please give us at least 2,000 likes. Please don't forget to comment and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Until next time.